Hey, salut, c'est Liam de Cancer Bat et vous voir Loud TV sur l'internet. So far, the feedback's been great. Yeah, people are stoked. We've been touring the record pretty much around the whole world. So this is almost like the end of our world tour, and yeah, it's been going great. Like all of the songs have been going down awesome. We've been playing them alongside all of the old jams, and people are singing along, people are partying. So yeah, it's going great. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like, coming back to some places, like, in the UK, that we've been going to for 10 years, and the crowds are bigger, and, everyone's partying, and then there's some places where we go, and they're like, oh, this is my first time seeing you, so it's cool. It's cool to definitely play to, old fans and stuff, but also to play to new spots that we haven't been to before. I mean, we've never played here. We've played Paris a bunch of times, but we've never played specifically this part, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Is it the first time?
Yeah, it's definitely, he told us tons of stories about like working with Slipknot and working with like Sepultura and all those bands. He's the best. He's such an amazing guy to just hang out with, let alone like work with. So yeah, it was such a positive experience. We definitely had a blast. I think he like wants to get the best performance out of everyone. So I think if he needs to shake you up to do that, like, you hear all the stories about him throwing things and being crazy. I think our experience was a little bit different because, I don't know, he was just stoked. So I guess he was just like happy with what we were doing and what we were performing, and like he definitely would like throw things, but just because he was having fun. Like he'd throw things at Scott when he was playing guitar because he was like having fun, and he liked kind of like shaking up Scott. So yeah, it was really fun. But when Jay would play bass, like Ross would just sit there and watch Jay play bass because it would just blow his mind. So he was just like having a blast. Yeah, it was great. Oh, he's so calm. Yeah, he's such a chilled out dude, which I think is also our vibe too. Like when it's time to go crazy and play shows, like we definitely go nuts and lose our minds, but when it's time to hang out, we're all pretty mellow dudes. It's definitely gnarlier. I think that was the big thing with Ross, was that he wanted to really dive in and replicate that sound that we have live, and he watched tons of YouTube videos and saw what we sounded like live, and he was like, I think these records are great, but he's like, I don't think it really captures like how gnarly and like biting you guys can be when you're in, a basement in Bordeaux, or you're playing like some crazy, squat somewhere. So he's like, we need to add that gnarly element to this, which, yeah, I think is why it sounds as crazy as it does. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think it's the punkest for sure, like in that raw kind of like punk rock in your face type of way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's definitely a Black Sabbath. I mean, we have like a Black Sabbath cover band that we can do like over an hour of Sabbath now. So I think it was only natural that some Sabbath was going to creep into to what we were doing. But yeah, songs like Buds, songs like Beelzebub. I think the big thing was that we just kind of, it's like when you like try and recreate a painting by one of the masters, you learn a lot of their tricks, in the process. So us covering all those songs, it was like we kind of learned more like their tricks of songwriting and how to make like a really strong, slow song that doesn't go on for too long. Like to do like a really good 3-minute slow song like Beelzebub and still have it be heavy and still have it be engaging. I think that's something that we totally learned from covering all those Sabbath songs. Searching for Zero is all about trying to find, like I said, like figuring out why we're still doing this, like finding that new common ground for us to move forward from. So everyone, you know, being still into the band for the same reasons why we started, wanting to tour for the same reasons, because we love it, because we love playing shows. You know, those kinds of things was this record was like figuring that out and finding that new 0 point and being like, okay, yeah, like I'm still down. Are we all still down? Cool. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm definitely very hands-on with all of the videos, and especially on the last record and on this one. We were, you know, like coming up with the ideas, having to like help with the production because, you know, we didn't have huge budgets where we could like spend money and hire people to work on it. So like in the videos, like Satellites, like we just produced that ourselves. You know, we had the money. We were like, we know people who work in film. We know people who can edit. So I just literally reached out to all my friends who work in television and film and was like, let's go to, you know, a field and shoot some fireworks and make a music video. So yeah, it was awesome. But I think the only reason why we're able to do it now ourselves is because we've been lucky enough to make, you know, 9 videos beforehand with a lot of support, you know, from labels and from, you know, Canadian TV stations and stuff like that. So now we know how to do it ourselves, and we can kind of do it a little bit cheaper, which is the best. Yeah, it's funny. You're the first person who's asked about it in an interview. But yeah, it's definitely something we've been like following really closely. And I mean, we've always grown up like anti-racism is such like a huge part of punk rock, and I mean like anti-fascism like here in Europe, like the first shows I ever played were like anti-racist punk shows. Like that's how we all grew up, going to shows. So for us, like yeah, like I still think that that's like an important dialogue that needs to happen, and I don't think it's something that should be swept under the table. Like this is like a huge figure in metal who is like saying insane things on stage, you know, and apologies or whatever. But I do think that the most important part about any of this is that it's actually bringing up a dialogue, and then it's bringing up other things, like people being like, well, Phil Anselmo, you know, said these insane things. People are, you know, are speaking out against it. It's like, okay, well, let's also talk about Burzum. Let's also talk about like other racist figures like in metal that not enough people are actually being vocal about, because I think it's just as bad, if not worse. So I'm glad that that dialogue is actually happening, and I'm glad that those things are actually coming to light. Because I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that Burzum's super racist as well, you know? Yeah. So it's like, I think that there are like those kinds of dialogues that need to happen. And I do think that, you know, like the Dutch festival that said like, no, we don't want Down on this festival. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't. There's tons of bands that are great. And I think, you know, I think Down's a great band, and it's unfortunate that happened. But if something like that comes to light, that it's like, yeah, you need to own up to it. And yeah, I mean, he said it, like whether it was because he was drunk or whether it was because he was joking or a combination of the two, it's like, I mean, you said it on stage. You also said it like, you know, that where it was recorded and put on the internet. So there's no way to like get around that, which is, I mean, it sucks. Like it sucks all around, because it's like, yeah, I love Pantera, I love Down. So it's like, is this guy super racist? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, Phil. I know that like, yeah, I don't know. I know that like what I saw on the internet, and it's definitely insane. It doesn't look like someone who's just joking around. For this year, we've got definitely the thing that I'm excited about. I actually just was sending these emails today. We've got more French shows, so more headlining French shows that we're actually planning and are figuring out. So in the summertime, when we're going to be coming back, like in the beginning of June, we should have more. They'll be announced by then, but I think hopefully in the next coming weeks we'll have more French shows, like small headlining club shows again that we're gonna do. So I'm really excited about that, especially now that we're in France and we're like, yeah, this is the best. And it's like, oh, cool, we're gonna come back. Okay, wicked. So I'm really excited. So for the people that I know, there's been people who have been asking, like, when are you going to come to our city, in all the cities that we have played? I don't think we're going to be able to make it to everywhere in France, but we definitely have like a handful more shows that we're going to announce. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we've definitely toured the entire world for Searching for Zero. So it might be, we'll take some time and maybe start thinking about writing some new stuff and putting out a new record, maybe not anytime soon. I'd love to come back and do like a support tour as well, if there's any of those that are kind of going around. But we're just going to take it slow. Like, this has all been so amazing that, definitely have had a blast. But we don't want to like overstay our welcome and like be here every week. So I was like, we'll play some more shows and then, figure out some more reasons to come back and party.